Welcome to the Coast to Coast podcast, brought to you by Play Picks and the Lines. Coming to you from the West Coast, Josh Lander, joined by Nate Weitzer, always on the East Coast. And we are kicking off Monday night's NBA slate here, Nate, with the Bulls and Pacers. Make sure to like and subscribe to that page. Got a couple other videos up there for you today, including that player props video that everybody loves every week. Got a gift card that we gave away on Friday after someone correctly guessed that Jalen Brunson and Tim Hardaway Jr. prop we had available. And as always, if you do still need a FanDuel or DraftKings account, head to fdpicks.com or dkpicks.com and find those listings in your area, such as what we've got for tonight. Nate, let's get into it.
Yeah, we're looking at Bulls -3 at home against the Pacers. It's actually trimmed down a little bit. I guess whisperings of maybe the Bulls might sit somebody on the second half of a back-to-back tonight. Could get some value there if that is the situation, but we don't know at this moment. Right now, the total at 211.5, and we got a ton of other games on the slate tonight. Hornets +4 Wizards. We're going to do an episode on that one. Nets are -7 at the Cavs. Rockets +11 at Celtics. Thunder +12 at Hawks. Grizzlies, Timberwolves -3.5 at the Pels. Another +12. We have Magic at Bucks. We have Suns -5.5 at Spurs. Grizzlies +10 at the Utah Jazz, which have just owned them recently. And the Sixers are +2.5 at the Kings. They're still without Joel Embiid. The Bulls have had no trouble on back-to-backs thus far this season, Josh. They've covered in 4 straight, actually going back to last season, including twice this season. They've been pretty much money in the bank under Billy Donovan, covering in 12 of 17 games overall and 6 of 8 at home, with that defense being the primary reason why, right? The under is 5-3 in home games, and they're averaging a +8.5 scoring margin in those home games, which is 5th in the NBA. You just look at all the things they do well on the defensive side of the ball. They allow the worst assist to turnover ratio, 5th fewest fast break points, 5th fewest triples, 8th fewest paint points. They might struggle a little bit to rebound without Nikola Vucevic, who's still out due to COVID protocols, but I think that they're so much more switchable and versatile without him that, he can be a liability in pick and roll, that I don't really worry about them lapsing too much on that side of the floor. And their one weakness is giving up free throw attempts, 22nd in that department, but Indy's only getting the 3rd fewest free throws per game. They're not really a team that's going to press the issue in that regard. They're scoring a high percentage of their points in the paint. And as I've said, even without Vooch, the Bulls are continuing to deny those easy looks. Credit Billy Donovan and his staff for figuring out a scheme that really works with all those guard-heavy lineups to just keep guys out of the paint, deny easy shots, and win with their defense. And look, as long as DeMar DeRozan is starting for me, as long as nobody else rests, MVP, DDR, I think the Bulls are going to win and cover in this one.
Yeah, that's how I feel as well. I'm not scared of that back-to-back. I know it's only 2 games this season that the Bulls have had a game where they are on no rest. They won both of them and covered. They won their last 4 of such matchup thing that back to last year as well, as we mentioned. So that doesn't scare me. The Bulls are a good team. The Pacers, I don't know. I mean, they're still in the middle of every single statistical category that seems to matter. They're somewhere between 15 and 20 in terms of how they're ranking there in a ton of those statistics everywhere. And that's who they are. And it's not even just like they're consistently average. They're actually sometimes very bad and then sometimes pretty good. With that really impressive win against Utah, that was the start of something that we thought that might be the start of something. Then they beat Philly, obviously a very shorthanded Philly team. But then they come back with 3 losses in a row that frankly were kind of bad and losses that they didn't look very good. And I mean, they lost to Detroit. That was the one that really put a damper on that, a weird weekend game. And then the Knicks and Hornets as well. What they don't do well specifically is a lot of what I think that, we mentioned what Chicago does well in terms of, not allowing teams to get out on the fast break, not allowing teams to pass the ball too well, or really to score inside the paint. And that's the only thing that I would feel comfortable taking Indiana, banking on Indiana is their down low presence. But this is a year that I was waiting for Domantas Sabonis to step up turn into a top 15, unquestionably top 15, top 20 player in the league under Rick Carlisle. And that's not the case at all. And the defense that we thought that we'd see from the likes of DeMontis and Miles Turner, is not what we expected either when Coach Rick Carlisle comes through and is supposed to make, every team he coaches a really defensive stopper, the way he did with the Mavs, and this is not that team right now, and they're struggling to be able to score the ball outside of getting offensive rebounds and putting it back. And I think at this point we're going to see a little bit of a choppier game tonight. I think it's time to eye DeMar DeRozan if he does play, as we love those half court games that the Bulls end up playing in. We know to target DeMar there, as that's what he does in the half court, right, and then that 30% usage rate in that style of offense as well, which is really incredible for him. So I think this is a simple case of the Bulls are fine playing in the half court offense. They'll get a few more fast break points, and they'll be able to counter any of those rebounding issues. Vooch might play, by the way, not likely, but he could technically play tonight. It's still very unlikely. Either way, the point is, without him, I'm still not worried about them being able to lock up on D and the Pacers just not put the ball in the basket well enough. The total's risen to about 211.5. It was about 208, which I believe it got bet down to briefly, back up to 211.5. So there might be some good money on that under if it keeps going up a bit after it went down too far.
Yeah, because the Bulls are great at 3-point defense, as are the Pacers, giving up the second fewest 3-point attempts and fourth fewest makes, I believe. But with them, it's really just you see these pop-up games against Western Conference teams that don't really know them very well. But the teams that know them well, especially in the Central Division, right, we've seen the Bucks just handle them for years. And now the Bulls are another bully in that division who can definitely lock in on what they do. You look at the Pacers, they've lost 8 straight on the road against conference foes. And 7 of their last 8 overall have gone under, just struggling to score against teams that know what they like to do, a bit predictable on offense, it would seem. And I think the Bulls, with Billy Donovan, who's an early Coach of the Year candidate and an excellent defensive mind, I think they can shut them down and keep this game low scoring enough so that even if they don't cover, we get that under.
Yeah, and I don't think they're going to cover, and it's a lot of what they fail to do on the road, and that's another good reason for the total. Their offense is just much worse on the road, including that 3-point percentage where they shoot about 6.5% points worse on the road than they do at home from behind the 3-point line, down to about 31% from three as a team. Not very good, and not going to be enough to be able to hang with the Bulls tonight. So that is all the time that we have for today. Make sure you are liked and subscribed to that page. Got another couple of videos up there for you today. And until we see you next, happy betting.